Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, I'm so glad to be here today. This is Culturally Distinct Sports, in case you've never checked us out before. I am your host, Jess. I got my other host, Jay Mitchell, here on my right. I got Troy, our co-host, on the left. How you doing, fellas?
Doing great, doing great. How about
Great.
you?
Glad to be here. Excited.
I always am glad to be here. I mean, my day is, I had a good day, but I don't know about y'all, but when I know I'm on the way, because I like to do this, I just get more excited. No, Jack? No,
I agree.
Jay Mitchell's not.
No,
not
I
he
was
looking at
excited
me.
about this. No, I was.
Why
I
are
just
you
got off
giving,
the highway. I was a little tired, but I was ready to get it.
what does that what did that look mean? Talk
I
to
need
me
that
about
sound, give me that sound effect again.
Oh, okay. So you're not happier when you come.
No.
I am.
I am. I enjoy it. Like Troy said, it's something to look forward to, and I love speaking. I love the company that we have, so I appreciate it, and I'm grateful.
That's better, Jay Mitchell. That's what I was looking for. Well, as always, we got a lot to talk about. I mean, there is like endless sports stories. Have you noticed that? I mean, it's really hard to. It really is. Sometimes sports is dry, but lately we got like a ton to choose from. So we're probably not going to cover all the big stuff, but we're going to try to hit as much as we can today.
Good. Where we starting?
We're going to start with the Olympics again. If you watched us last week, we're kind of doing an Olympic spotlight because, I mean, this is prime time. It's the trials are on, and there's a lot going on. Shacarri Richardson is a runner. For those of you that don't know, yeah, woohoo. We really support her here on this show. If you haven't heard, it's a huge story. Unfortunately, she tested positive for marijuana, and that disqualified her for the next race. She won the trials. She still has a chance to be in, which one is it? The
4x1?
4x2.
4x2. Okay. I'm
No,
not a.
There is no 4x2. That's
Okay.
not a real
It's
race.
4x1?
That's high school.
Oh, 4x1.
4x1.
Okay.
Yeah, 4x2.
I'm going with you.
4x2 is a high school race, man. That doesn't exist.
I love track, but I don't claim to be a track person. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm going to need your help, Troy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
So,
relay.
yeah, we're going to hope that.
Relay.
We're going to hope that she is able to qualify. So I want you guys' thoughts, but before you share your thoughts, for me, when I heard at first, and I know we were going back and forth offline, messaging each other. So I'll be interested after we hear all the news, because I told y'all I got to hear all the information. And sure enough, it comes out. She has an interview. She says, my biological mother had died. I had just found out through a reporter, and basically was in a state of shock. So for me, that changed the whole thing. That changed the whole game. I'm like, in this life, we need to start looking at case by case situations. This is not a girl getting high just because she was having fun and partying with her friends and decided to like ruin her career, right? I mean, she went through a traumatic event. I will say, I'll be candid. I went through not that same situation, but I was in a traumatic event, and guess what? I consumed too. Same situation, different reason. So I get it. It's one of those things that helps level you out and calm you down. And like they said in the article, what's the difference in getting drunk? Someone had mentioned that, well, she could have went to a bar and got drunk. She wouldn't have been disqualified for, having 10 rounds of alcohol, because they don't test for that.
And it's still a drug.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm going to shut up and let y'all speak your 2 cents on it.
I'll go. Look, I'll tell you my feelings on this, and I'm going to be real.
Uh-oh.
Your biological mom passed. I get that. You're dealing with something. You got to figure out a way to calm your nerves, so to speak. The idea of her saying that she smoked marijuana because her biological mom died, in my eyes, is bullshit on all levels. In my mind, you smoke weed. Fine, you smoke. This isn't like some made-up rule that's hidden between the lines. Everybody knows this. You smoke, you get caught, 30 days you're sitting down. She knew that. Now, I commend her for owning up to that and accepting responsibility for what she did. I made a mistake. I'm accepting my suspension, and I'm moving on, not wallowing in pity because you suspended me for 30 days. You knew this ahead of time. Regardless of what you think about the rule, it's a dumb rule. We all agree. I can go get dizzy, drunk off vodka the night before a race, go race, qualify, no one says a thing. I go smoke a joint, test positive,
You're out of there.
You're out of there. So it's a dumb rule. We can all agree on that. But the idea of her saying that she smoked simply because her mom died, you're dealing with stress, that may be true. There may be some truth to that. I don't want to dismiss that. But don't tell me that was your only time. You smoke, girl. You smoke. So own up to it. Stop smoking or wait on the rule to change. Simple as that.
I'm
Okay.
trying to shut up because I
And
have
you're
more
young.
thoughts. But
You
go
got-
ahead,
the
Jamie.
girl has
Go.
3 more Olympics left in her. She's missed out on this one. So what? Move on. She runs the relay, great. I wanted to see her run just like everybody else. But
I agree.
it is what it is.
I'm torn.
Yeah.
I would say I'm torn. The reason I'm torn is because, like you stated, alcohol, a week ago, I don't know how well she would have ran the race coming off of a drunken stupor. You know what I'm saying? But didn't do that. But to know, I haven't lost my mother.
Yep.
You know, but I have lost a loved one.
Yep.
And people cope. They have different coping mechanisms. My only problem is the people around her.
Yeah.
That's what got me.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sit up here and say it's her fault. I don't know what it was. But I do know when your trainer, your coaches, your friends, they then have to come. They then have to be their support.
Yeah.
They then say, Shacarri, listen, I know it's tough.
Yep.
We're going to take this from you. You know, that don't allow her. And she may have did it in private. We don't know. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
But someone got it to her. Someone gave it to her. Somehow she was able to get it. And what the Olympics committee has to look at, it's in your Olympic community.
Yeah.
It's because you're closed in. You're cut off. You see what I'm saying? You're closed in. You're cut off. So it's in the Olympic community.
Yep.
And you sent a tab about the young lady a week prior. You know, she tested positive for steroids. She said it came from a burrito, from the meat. I mean, that's what happened.
No, I heard
so
that.
all I'm saying, she didn't get suspended. You know, and we went back to that.
I thought she got disqualified for 4 years.
Did she?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
I think the debate, at least in our community, I say the black community, was, at least that I saw circulating,
Mhm.
the frustration was with her, her statement had held no accountability.
Mm-mm.
It was, I ate
We
this
didn't even hear
burrito.
about it.
Yep.
Correct.
Didn't even hear about it.
Right.
Right.
Whereas Richardson took full accountability,
Full.
and it's everywhere in the media. So, there's that subject.
That's just, to me, Adam said it last week. I don't know. I can't say it's clickbait because it actually happened. But to me, it's slander indirect. You see what I'm saying? And true enough, she's a big star athlete. But I want the same care for our athletes that look like us as they do for the others. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
And for her saying, I'm sorry, move on down the street. That's just my take on it. But the Olympic community, they know that weed is in there within those areas that they're in. They know other people have done it. I just hope that she understands that people around her now have to be that much more vigilant to protect her. Because when you are going through trauma, you do slightly move away from the norm of thought because you're trying to find an escape. So for me, whoever's around her, whether it be the trainer, whether it be her friends, her grandmother, all those people, keep your hands around her, continue to pray for her, and hope she gets that help that she needs.
I agree. Before we move on, I just have to say, I agree with that last thought. I'm going to disagree with both y'all fellas respectfully because we're grown-ups, and we can't control every single moment, but we're
Correct.
not that, I
Correct.
know we need to move on. So
What do you
we'll
mean as
agree
far
to
as like the people around her?
Well,
what do you mean?
yeah, I mean, again, we talked about this
You've
offline.
been 21 before. She's 21.
Here's the thing. Her tribe is very important.
Yeah.
Very, very important. But again, no one is babysitting you 24/7.
Correct.
And she could have had a joint. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to speculate. She could have just had a joint sitting in her house and decided to smoke it. End of story. Whatever it was, it doesn't matter. I don't think we can go into blaming, and I know you weren't blaming, but like talking about her people need to have a tighter rein. We don't know. They might have been, we don't know.
I think we can all agree that she made a mistake that she's taking responsibility for and moving forward in the right direction. I hope.
Yeah.
We'll find out in 30 days.
Yeah, we'll find out in 30 days. You're right.
Yeah. Well, Troy, talk to us about Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Hard Knocks is back, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of a Hard Knocks fan you guys are. I am somewhat a Hard Knocks fan. But I was drawn to this simply because of the fact that the Cowboys are back. I'm not the biggest Cowboys fan I used to be when I was a kid. But
Cowgirls.
there you go, Cowgirls. I'm with that. But they're back on Hard Knocks. I know the last couple times they've been on Hard Knocks, it didn't pan out for them very well when it comes to what they did throughout that season. So I'm bringing this to the table because I'm interested to see how you guys feel about how being on Hard Knocks could impact your season.
Mhm.
Having the cameras around, being in the spotlight, not just amongst the franchise, but all of the NFL is watching you. So, I mean, we all know that the Cowboys, I think the last time they were on Hard Knocks was 2002 and 2008. 2002 was Wade Phillips' last season. They finished last in their division, missed the playoffs. Excuse me, that was Dave Campo. Dave Campo's last season. They finished 5-11, last place in their division, didn't make the playoffs. 2008 rolls around, they're back on Hard Knocks. They finished third in their division, again, didn't make the playoffs under Wade Phillips. My opinion is I would think that having those cameras around, because you're talking about NFL training camp, we're talking competition. You're competing for a starting job, you're competing for a position, you're competing for a job, period. So I would think that having those cameras around would have you that much more in tune, that much more wanting to perform. I would think that you would have a better training camp because people would be that much more focused with those cameras around. Looking at the history of the Cowboys being on Hard Knocks, that wasn't necessarily the case. I don't know how good that training camp was, but the season didn't reflect how good it may have been. So my question to you guys is, how do you think just having those cameras around, being on Hard Knocks, could impact your season going forward?
I feel like it depends on how well they're athletes, so they're on camera all the time. But it depends on your style, right? In my opinion, is that a motivating factor for you, or is it a distraction or a frustration for you?
For some people,
you see,
you probably fall in both categories,
right?
Depending on what type of person you are, right?
So to me, I think it's like player by player how it impacts them.
Yeah, you brought up Dak earlier when we were talking before the show started. The idea of him coming back. That's definitely going to bring eyeballs. I'm sure people want to see what is he healthy? Is he ready? What is he bringing back to the table? Mm-hmm. How is he going to handle that? I think that's a big question. You're the leader of this team. You're the face of the franchise. You're coming back. You got these cameras scrutinizing you now. How are you going to handle that? I think their season is on his shoulders. If he shows up ready to play, I think the Cowboys can be decent. But who knows? Coming off an injury, you never know until you see him out down the field. We'll see.
Right. I don't disagree with anything you guys said. It's for me. You get a second year job at the coach. I mean, he's in his second year of his contract. You know, coming from the Packers.
Brett Favre ran him out of it. Not Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers hated him, right?
That's my guy, man. I don't care. Run him out of there. He
don't
belong there. He don't
careful.
belong there.
Tread lightly there. Tread lightly.
So my biggest thing is it's America's team, first off. You know, that's what they say. You know, Jerry Jones is one of the biggest NFL businessmen. He'll probably go down in history in the NFL as far as one of the biggest businessmen in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
The way he does things, the way he does deals. But the Cowboys haven't drafted well in the last 5 years. So when you say, you know, it's on Dak's back, I think that was the whole thing. Finding him help that could get them to the point they want to be. This year, like you said, it's going to be a huge magnifying glass on Dak because he's coming off the injury. He just got his contract. You know, it's a lot of things that comes into that. You got some new pieces. You drafted some guys that you think can come in right now and help you. So as Jessica said, I think it really depends on the athletes and their mentality. The one thing that I would share, professional sports is one of the only jobs you'll ever have where your job is on the line every day. So if you don't show up, the Hard Knocks will see you get cut.
We'll see you.
Your family, the nation. You know, so in understanding that, I think you have to shift your mentality, and it's not about what I'm being shown or who's showing me. Yep. It's about how can I perform at the best of my ability every day. Yep. And that would be the key, and that to me would lead to their success coming when the season gets around, and hoping that they can gel. Dak can get back into his flow of the game off the injury. They can gel as an offense because they had a good defense and lost a few players and Sean Lee and a couple other guys. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting.
Well, on that note, this is our sponsorship time. And so here we're going to be transparent with you. Y'all, we're working for sponsorships. We're working on it right now. We need you. I said it last episode. If you're watching, we're hungry. Okay. But we do have a current sponsor in-house, but we would love to support some other businesses outside of us. That current one is Jay Mitchell. We're going to talk about his school.
Again.
And we sure are. We're going to keep talking about this school because this is important and can't enough people know. Because although your school is probably well known, you probably got a lot more people to touch and get the word out.
Well, thank you for that.
Let's go ahead and tell us about that.
Again?
Yeah, again.
Community athletics, community-athletics.com. We're online college. We're a sports college, so we are no different than any other junior college, any other community college around. But the thing that we do, we basically offer in online sports. Online classes, everything's accredited, FOSFA, Pell Grant. We are looking for local kids because, therefore, they can stay right at home, get their lessons, do the things that they need to do. We offer basketball, men's and women's. We offer volleyball, and we're going to do baseball. So we're launching for this year. For anyone who's interested, please go to our website, communityaathletics.com. We'd love to have you and just build with the people locally to get some fiber and get some traction and change lives.
Thank you. Nice. Well, since you talking now, we might as well talk about your guy, Chris Paul.
See, peasy.
Yeah, we got to go into that. I mean,
yeah, I really appreciate it because you're talking about a guy who's playing for 16 years. The great thing about it, we're literally from the same city, Winston-Salem. So I know some of his family members. He's a little younger than I am, but we kind of had the same track. Because I started at West Forsyth High School, but I left because at that time it wasn't a lot of us in the athletic arena. And so, but for him to do what he's done, for him to stay out of trouble, for him to change their lives, he has his foundation, he has his basketball team. He's done a lot of great things for the community of Winston. I appreciate the things that his family has done, because a little story about his family. When I was in the 10th grade, I was actually homeless, and his aunt and uncle, Mr. and Mrs. Hobart Jones, I'll never forget it. They were someone who sponsored me, kind of helped me, took care of me, gave me things, and I'll never forget that. And so for me, it holds a special place. It's bigger than seeing him on the screen. And I've only met him a few times, and I don't know him, so I'm not going to sit up here and say I know him, but his family, that was important for me and to me. But you're talking about someone who's been a journeyman, 16 years, never been to the finals. But if you watched what he did that last game, he was not going to be denied. Going to Wake Forest, staying 2 years, All-American, fourth in the draft. He's been the perennial professional to me, because there's a lot of guys who do it. But, he gets a bad rap because they say he's demanding. But that's what winners are. Winners are demanding because they're going to hold you accountable, and they want you to succeed. With him, I think the great relationship with him and his coach now, because they started together in New Orleans. Now they're maybe ending in Phoenix. So the parody of that is beautiful, man. But if you look at his career, he will go down as one of the best point scorers in history. As far as his points, he'll be ranked in points. I think he's third right now, second or third in assists. And you're talking about the NBA has been around 100 years. That's major.
His legacy is set, man.
Yeah. So
Chris Paul's legacy is set.
Yeah, he will be a future Hall of Famer. He's done all the right things. He hasn't done the scrutiny, with the family and whatever, they expected to happen with someone in his position. But being from Winston, we are all proud of him. We've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, on Instagram, because we call Winston Trey 4. Okay. So, when he got up there with the hat, he had Winston-Salem on it, I almost had a tear right there, what I'm saying? Because it reps, it does rep. But it was one of those things that for what he's been able to do for the league, for his community, for his family, he will his legacy will be forever to me.
I love it. That inspires. At least it inspires me. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that background. Yeah. It's cool to know how people's families, help others and are part of your life. We're all connected.
Yeah. And I also have to throw Gwendolyn Harrison in there. She was like my godmother, like God sent, because my mom ended up leaving. I didn't have anywhere to go. And she allowed me to stay with her, and she put her tribe, as you spoke, around me. And his family, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, one of those families that took me under their wing, man. It was major. Changed my whole trajectory of my life.
Very dope. So hopefully you never know, they might watch this. So
They might.
yeah, I mean, hey, stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to move on to, I always say, y'all know what time it is. This is the not so serious news. Y'all know what,
gotcha. What you got for us? What you got for us?
A little,
Who's
dirt.
dating who? Who
Yeah.
left who?
I mean, I got to come up with a name for this. I've been trying to think of a good, celebrity trash and
one.
bash.
I
But
got one
we
for
need
you.
a name for this segment.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay. So if Jay Mitchell's doesn't work, hey, y'all send us in, put some names in the comments for this celebrity.
That's it. That's it right there.
You know,
Celebrity corner. Shit. Celebrity
Okay.
spotlight.
Well,
that's what it is.
So Alice Rodriguez, we all know, or maybe we don't, because Troy don't know a lot over here about celebrity guys.
I need the background. I'll give you my thoughts,
Troy,
but I need the background.
So I gotta give Troy the background. Okay, so Rodriguez and J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, they've been together, right?
Yep.
They broke up. You know that much.
Yep.
Okay, so they're no longer together. Engagement's called off.
She got back with Affleck, right?
Sure did.
See, I know something, man.
So, by the way, I got to throw that in there. I think I saw this as I was scrolling my phone this morning. They spent the whole July 4th together, her and Affleck, by the way.
Affleck and J-Lo.
Yeah, they have pictures of them, just doing their thing. So that's interesting. But, hey, go for what you know. So Alex Rodriguez, he was seen on Instagram making a comment. I guess J-Lo went to her friend's house for a party, like a Taco Tuesday thing. And this just happened last week. And he makes a comment like, why didn't you invite me? So although they're stars and celebrities, I know we can relate to this. Like last week, y'all are like, they're on a different level and stuff. But with this, I thought it was hilarious because that's on a different level. That's just like human beings. Like we've all experienced this where you break up with somebody, right? And then they go to the friend's party. And then you're like, oh, okay, but you're the friend too. You're a mutual friend and you don't get the invite. So I thought it was funny that he made that comment, and they said he probably wouldn't have been able to come anyways because he was somewhere else. I have it here, but anyways, he wasn't even in the area, like in the neighborhood. But nevertheless, that was probably his way of saying, "Dang, I got left out."
Huh? You got left out from the mutual friends party.
What are y'all's thoughts on this? Do you think that a friend should invite you and your ex to the same party?
Hell no.
Talk to us, Troy.
There's just unnecessary awkwardness. There's just no need for that.
But what if, so how do you decide which one? Do you say, what if you're equal friends?
You invite the one that you want to invite.
But what if you want to invite both of them? I've had that happen.
No, you haven't.
I swear to you,
you can make a choice. There's something there that you can make the decision. Do I need to invite X or Y?
Okay, and do you tell the other friend? Do you tell the other person?
Yes.
Do you text them and call them and say, hey,
yep.
Yo, bro, I
can't
invite
look,
you.
Man, look, your ex-wife is coming. I don't want to see it. I know how y'all get down when you're in each other's company. You sitting this one out. What I get that for? What's that for, man?
X out. You X out. He out of there.
Somebody got to go, man. Like, you can't invite both of them.
So I say.
You know people that's been in volatile relationships, and you don't want to see them together in the same room. It's just unnecessary drama, right?
I'm going to say this. Who was friends first?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Who were friends first?
There you go.
Because most of the people whoever that friend was first, that's going to be the loyalty.
Yeah.
And then,
absolutely,
like you said, you're going to invite them X, Y, and Z, and then buddy over here or the lady over here can't come. Sorry. Yep. I agree. Like, it's funny to me because his ego was bruised on a little bit, Yeah. I'm A-Rod, hey, listen.
His ego was damaged. Boy, was hurt.
But you done lost. You lost.
Hurt,
you know what I'm saying? Now she back with someone. And to me, it's kind of timely.
Yeah, she back with an old head. Somebody,
hey, that's what I'm saying. Listen, man, he out of there. He out of there.
Can we get on that for just a second before we transition? Because we got a little time.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch that, too, and see what y'all think.
She want that old thing back. That's all I'm saying. She want that old thing back.
What do y'all think this is a rebound, or is it, hey, we didn't work, but now me and my ex are broke up, and now we're gonna work? Me and the ex are gonna work. Or is this a rebound, and he's comfortable and safe?
I think it starts with comfortability, like you said, and they were friends. You see, when they were in a relationship, they were actually friends because the J-Lo and Ben thing was right after. I think it was right after Puff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they had a good run. So my thing was, I really believe they were friends. And I remember, if I'm wrong, please, I apologize. But I remember Ben coming out, and he was going through something at the time, and that's what made him go to Jennifer Garner. So could have been some closure, could not have been some closure there, but they had to have remained friends, and to come back into that situation, it's comfort. I know him, she knows me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
They've separated whatever things they were dealing with, and now you give it a true shot because maturity has come into play. Time has passed. Misunderstandings have been laid to rest. Communication should have been given by then. I think it's good, man. I do, me personally.
I'm 50-50. Yeah, I mean, we're not in their relationship,
Right.
so I agree, Jay Mitchell, but I also agree it could probably explode too.
yeah.
Because I don't know, you don't have enough time. She went right, and I'm not judging.
Who's the father of her kids? She has
J-Lo,
kids?
yes, Mark Anthony.
Mark Anthony.
Oh, okay.
So she went right from A-Rod to him, like immediately.
Yeah.
No judgment. I'm just saying you don't have time, in my opinion, to go through the process of like kind of healing.
How
through
much
that
time we got?
person.
Because I got a question.
Somebody-
I got a question.
Somebody
we're-
paid
Hey.
Jamie Foxx. I want to
So
hear Jamie Foxx's opinion.
this what I want to know. You said out. It's a cliche. Out of the frying pan, straight in the fire, right? So all I'm saying is there was some communication. Now whether we know about it or not, now
so-
whether they got a bat phone, whether they there's
Oh, yeah.
some type
Something.
of communication
Absolutely.
that happened. You just don't
Probably
say.
never ended.
I'm not gonna say that.
Oh.
I'm not gonna say that. But it had to be something from yonder to hither to connect them to be where they are.
That quick.
It just didn't happen.
Yeah.
So somebody left the damn back door open for Jody, and he's back. That's all I know. And Ben Affleck
So
is
there was,
Jody.
leave the door. Oh.
Somebody left it open. Bruno Mars at his best. Somebody left the door open. And Ben Affleck, I mean, if you look at Jennifer, she's a beautiful woman.
Absolutely.
You know, Ben, I mean, he ain't no bad looking dude, but I mean, damn,
Well, stay tuned. I'm sure they'll come in. They'll come in this section later down the road.
Absolutely.
We'll see. So we're gonna. If y'all watched last time, we talked about a lot of HBCU stuff, and we're gonna have a highlight section every week. So I think this is kind of dope because we're gonna do something HBCU related, and I think this is one of the pieces that separates us, culturally distinct sports, from other shows. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure someone's doing it out there, but we just think it's important. HBCU. My son goes to an HBCU, so you know I'm all about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. So we were talking about last week. We were talking about the new NCAA rules. We were waiting on a pending decision from several states as far as overruling the NCAA and allowing players to make money off their name, image, and likeness. The NCAA sort of jumped ahead of the ball and said, you know what, y'all go ahead. And they made it okay. So now NCAA athletes can, they call it the NIL rule, can make money off their name, image, and likeness. We talked about some of the opportunities that were out there for players to sign with different companies, to get matched up with local businesses to sort of make money off of the name. I wanted to highlight a player that is going to an HBCU, and I'll just read this little snippet here. But the teenage son of rapper Master P signed a $2 million deal with Web Apps America before setting foot on a college campus, according to his father. With the new name, image, and likeness laws in effect starting July 1st, the Ncaa Academy guard from Minnesota will arrive at Tennessee State University with one of the largest brand deals in college sports. Miller was ranked as the fifth best player from Minnesota by ESPN Top 100 and held offers from USC, UCLA, LSU, Vanderbilt, Howard, and others. Before deciding to sign with Tennessee State, according to Master P, the agreement with Web Apps America is a 4-year, $2 million deal. So right now, as of now, that's the biggest deal to date when it comes to NIL.
I love it.
So do I. And we talked about Brandon Winbush starting the Mogul Corp to help broker some of these deals. This deal was brokered, and shout out to Don. This deal was brokered by Donald Hogan of Athlete Wallet, a trailblazing digital platform that aligns students athletes with brands, and Jabari Morgan of J. Morgan and Associates, a strategy development firm.
Jabari Morgan?
Shout out to Don.
Jabari Morgan that went to Southern University?
I don't know. That's why I was
Is that
going
Jabari?
next. We all know it's Jabari.
Oh.
I don't know if it's that Jabari Morgan or not. I have no
I was
idea.
about to do a backflip.
I have no idea. I have no idea. But shout out to Don. I know Don. He's a former TSU basketball player. He's actually Master P's nephew.
Got you.
But shout out to Don for putting that together. I don't know what they have going forward, but I know he's not stopping right there with Hersey Miller. But this is big. In my mind, I have no idea what direction this is going to go. It could get out of hand. I see positives and negatives with this. People like to abuse the system, and somebody will find a way to abuse it.
Yeah, we kind of touched on that last week. I just want to say, I know I was saying last week, I looked back, I watched our show, that I didn't want them to become the college players to become millionaires right away. Let me clarify. I want us to get all the money we can and build generational wealth. I said in that, again, going back to character, that's the only thing my concern of saying, like, not wanting the college athletes after maybe becoming millionaires, because my concern is that everybody's just going to then focus on the money.
Yep.
So that was all. I just want to clarify that.
Yep.
That was my biggest concern. Yes,
right.
we want to build
It's a legitimate
wealth.
concern, though.
Yeah.
It's a legitimate concern, especially for college athletes who are coming from nothing.
Right. You're
and
just
suddenly you have everything.
right.
Like, how do you deal with that?
Yeah.
Like, how do you control that?
We definitely need some financial help.
Yes.
Backing. Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. That's a whole
There
nother
needs to be
topic.
some financial literacy associated with giving these kids all this money.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Any thoughts, Jay Mitchell, before we move on?
Yeah, I think first off, kudos to Master P. Kudos to Master P because he made that announcement way before this thing came out. So just to know the support that his son has from him, and his father being the person that he was nationally in the music community, self-made millionaire.
Yep.
He's a self-made millionaire. The grind, his mentality. And I've even watched the Master P story when he, the No Limit story. He took care of everybody.
Yep.
So to know that you're giving those nuggets to your son, your legacy. Like if you look at Romeo's career, if you look at his other children, now you're looking at his younger son. Even though his father is set financially, he's blazing his own path.
Yep.
And one of the comments I remember Master P say, the best $25,000 he's ever spent was to meet Michael Jackson's financial person. He said he spent that, and he taught him how to manage. He taught him the rules of the record business, how to get his money for his distribution, everything. So he took those and he implemented in all his business endeavors. So for me, I say congratulations, hats off to you. Once again, keep the people around him, keep them safe, because we're not the only ones who know the news. So now it's one of those things you got to show and prove. You have to, once again, the effort has to be there.
Yep.
Your effort has to be along with the monetary gain because now, you may have this deal, but you still got to go out there and you got to perform. So I just hope his mindset stays strong, vigilant, and the competition doesn't, allow that to happen,
Yep.
As far as the money goes. But I applaud it.
I
He's
agree
a
with all.
legitimate baller.
He can play.
He can play.
He can play.
Like, he is a legitimate Power 5 D1 type
Right.
of baller that chose to go to Tennessee State.
Right.
So hopefully, we'll see how that trend goes.
Right.
Going
And I don't
forward.
know if you remember, Troy, but I don't know if you were on campus yet, but, I played basketball at Southern too.
Yeah.
So Master P, Derek Allen, Ron Mercer, all
Always.
those, they always come up to the university and play with us,
Always.
the basketball team.
I went
so,
to U-High. They used to come to LSU and
yeah,
play direct all the time. Man.
So it was just like to see this come into fruition. It's, he got to play in the NBA. It could have been a squander, but, he still had the opportunity. And you're leading your son. And like Troy said, he's a legit basketball player. It's not a favor.
Yeah.
Right.
He earned that.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I like it.
I'm with it. So before we do have another topic before we get out of here, we're going to talk about fighting. I mean, we're not fighting, but I know
I love it.
we could. It depends on what. So, Jay Mitchell, what you got over there?
Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, like
I'm ready.
third round
Number 3.
this Saturday.
Bring it.
7-10. Like, to me, they have the exact identical record. They're the same age. They have the same attributes. They have the same physicality, the same mindset. This bout this weekend, I am on the edge of my seat. I will be on the edge of my seat. I will be indulging in adult beverages because this right here is going to be an exciting time for the UFC world, because this is what people want to see.
Yeah.
This is what people want to see. Conor McGregor has made a name for himself. That first fight he got, that second one, Dustin got him. So this right here is like, who walks away? Because it's going to do two things. It's going to change your record, and it's going to change your life. Simple as that. Like, because everybody's like, oh, man, because Conor, you know, he was like the first one to win 2 belts in a different division. You see what I'm saying? So with Dustin, you know, Dustin with so many problems, complications with injuries, for him to be right back here on the biggest stage in UFC. I know Dana White is eating this alive, man. So I'm excited. So
That's the beauty of the MMA, man. You can't duck fights.
You can't. And see, I've been watching MMA since the Gracies, or you know, Gracie. That when there was no weight division, you can have a guy 120 pounds fighting a guy 400 pounds. You know, so for me, I'm excited. So I don't bet. So this is a hard one. So for those who bet, put your money on somebody.
I don't watch UFC fights, I'll admit, but I do know who McGregor is.
Yes.
And now you got me excited. So I don't know. I might be adult beveraging where you're at, Jay Mitchell. So keep me posted, because now you got me all excited to check it out.
Yes.
I used to not be an MMA fan. Like when it first came on the scene, all that UFC, MMA stuff, it was too gruesome.
I loved it.
I was watching too many broken arms, and
I didn't care.
Yeah.
I can't, man. I couldn't sit there and look at it. Today, man, I can't lie. I'm in it. I'm ready.
In it. Yes.
You know,
I don't like scary movies, but I can watch a fight.
Yeah,
is that crazy?
No.
Yeah,
I don't like horror movies. Ask my wife. She's sitting right over there. I hate horror
I
movies.
hate them.
I don't like horror movies.
Something. I can't I watch a scary movie like this. I don't want no parts in no scary movie.
like
The
horror
fight,
movies
I can
either,
watch
man.
a fight because it's tactical and strategic. You
No,
know,
we know because your background. Like, we won't even get into that right now. But I done heard some stories.
We got
but
past
that's
some anger issues, man. We got past that. We beyond that.
Beyond that, man.
We beyond
That's
that.
old Winston. That's that old Winston. So yeah.
We beyond that.
So, I mean, fellas, before we close out, you got anything to say? We run in early today. I mean, we could totally close out, but I feel like, gosh, I mean, there's so many stories. Do we want to touch on anything else?
I mean, there's always something to talk about.
The NHL, I don't watch that either.
Nor do I. Not really.
So we can't really
I
talk
kind
about
of keep up with
I
it.
know their
I know
game
Tampa
is,
Bay's in the finals.
I know their game is tonight. And I'm sorry. That's all I can give y'all.
That's it. I mean, Tampa Bay got it going on right now, right? You know, they just won a Super Bowl, trying to win a Stanley Cup. I don't know what's happening with the Diamondbacks. Is that even still a franchise? Let me shut up.
Yeah.
Still a franchise.
I will not incriminate myself.
Man, to
on
hell
this
with
show.
Tampa Bay. I don't give a damn about a Tampa Bay. Yeah, Tom Brady retire, please.
We got our producer over here doing all kinds of
Jameis Winston.
faces.
Let's go,
I'm
Jameis
sorry.
Winston. Man, did y'all see the Jameis Winston video? Who saw the video? What the hell was he doing?
What are you talking about?
Tell me, I don't.
You didn't
I
see
don't-
that?
No.
Jameis Wilson posted some video of him doing some training. He like shuffling back and forth through garbage cans, some shit, like about to fall all over himself. I don't know what was going on. Nobody saw that.
I did not see
I just gonna
this.
leave me hanging out to dry like this. Nobody
Well,
saw
if
it.
you
man.
pull
You
it
got to
up, I
say
mean-
that before the show,
Man,
so
we
we can
gotta
at least
be
I
ready.
can look it up.
Oh, we touch on it. Look, I'm a Saints fan through and through. So Jameis Winston will come up as a subject on this show probably every damn Monday. I'm gonna have something to say.
Okay.
So we gonna see.
Well,
I do want to, for your story with Shacarri, I don't know if you guys saw it. Ricky Williams, former running back, Miami Dolphins, UT.
I did see
He
that.
came out in support, and he stated, I applaud her, and now she could possibly be an advocate because himself dealt with depression, anxiety, and that was one of his coping mechanisms was marijuana.
Yeah.
And
Shacarri,
now,
if you lying, just ride with it.
I'm not going to
Just roll with it, Shacarri. Just keep going with it. Just roll. I'm depressed. I'm going through some things. Just roll with it, Shacarri. You're going to change the world, girl.
I like this Troy because
Just rock
Troy
with it.
usually doesn't like open up like this, but I like this Troy today. I'm
Just roll with it, Shacarri. I'm with you, girl. She depressed, man. Girl, mama just died.
No, but seriously, all jokes aside, there is a difference in just a recreational smoker
Correct.
and one who does it for coping or
Right.
anxiety
Medicinal.
or
That's true.
yeah,
You're right.
medicinal. So there is a really distinct difference, and
Yeah, and I'm no drug counselor, but I mean, Dave Chappelle said it best about Rick James. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. You know, cocaine's a hell of a drug. So all I'm saying is, you've never heard of marijuana killing anybody.
True.
I'm just being honest.
I
Yo.
know.
You've never heard of marijuana killing. You've only heard marijuana of medicinal effects, cancer patients, Alzheimer's. It's been proven statistically and medically. But so for me, that's why I'm kind of torn. you know, it's unfortunate. I think, like I stated last week, the world was her stage, and it still shall be. But I really wanted her to be in this race. I
Me too.
really
Me
did.
too.
We all did.
I
dog.
did.
Well,
did.
hopefully
We
the
all
next
did.
one. And can I just say though, I'm starting to worry that cocaine comes up in our show.
Cocaine's a powerful drug. Dave Chappelle out here, he hit me with it, and everybody knows.
Oh,
Rick
man.
James.
Get us out of here, Jessica.
I'm getting us
Get
out of
us
here.
out of here. That's a
I
wrap.
know, because it's going downhill. It's going downhill. Before we get out of here, can I just give a shout out to the founder of this show, Adam? He hooked us up with the gear. Yes, I love it. Thank you, Adam. So you'll see us with this on from now on. You know, we got to get the name out there. You know, this is growing. So thank you for joining us on Culturally Distinct Sports. We look forward to next week. Jay Mitchell, Troy, Adam. Thank you, Kevin, our videographer. We appreciate y'all.